Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I was just saying off air, the Prem is back this weekend, a massive weekend of action.
And a massive weekend for you, mate.
And a massive weekend for me as well.
It's been a big week.
Yeah, we can do it all here. By the way, I'm the prediction king now because I'm not only getting views for them. Wait, I wasn't expecting this, but let me just look through it. My prediction from the weekend, I think I nailed 4 exact scorelines.
In the Prem?
In the Prem. So I got the Chelsea result bang on. I've got...
Well, you predicted 3-0.
Yeah, I predicted the Brighton Nottingham Forest 2-2. I predicted the Tottenham 3-1 Brentford. Oh, and sorry. The rest were very close. So I had Villa 4-1 over Wolves.
Yeah, 2-1 City, eh?
Yeah, 2-1 City. So,
yeah.
So I want to say two things. Thank you for the support on those videos. And secondly, there's a valid reason why you're watching that because fuck, I know what I'm doing when it comes to predictions.
And there's valid reason to watch my FPL segment coming out.
Coming up after this first game. No, we are going to talk about
because I am cooking.
We are going to talk about that. We should do an FPL show once in a while.
I'm low key honestly though. I have a resume of FPL now though. Like it's building.
It is.
I didn't try it at the beginning of last year because I had stuff going on. But 2 years back when I was committed, it was ranked 5K in the world.
It's back.
And I'm absolutely cooking this year too. So
that's a prelude. Actually, after the first game, we'll talk about FPL because I actually did okay for once. Before we get into it, anything you want to pick up on the weekend? Because there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, I was actually thinking about this.
Because I haven't quite thought about this either. I do want to say though, as I sort of said, that I feel like the Prem was back this weekend. I was saying a couple of red cards yesterday, including the Arsenal game. Then both managers getting sent off from Forest and Brighton.
Mate, my guy Lewis Skelly getting
they're just
getting yellow on the
bench. Martinez is jumping at people. Like there was just like there was so much shit going on the weekend.
Well. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't really know what I took away in general. It just it felt like it felt like a good weekend of an actual Prem. Yeah. I mean, not too many look, I'd love there to be no referee highlight, headlines, but there's always going to be a couple. I just think we're establishing that there is an Arsenal agenda, clearly.
Obviously.
Michael Oliver needs to get sacked.
Him and Rob Jones something. Learn some Saudi, buddy.
But no, I didn't really, there wasn't any major key takeaways for me. What about you?
Yeah, I just think it just was good football was back. Yeah. Like I was going to say this for the other podcast, but all in all in football, just in football in general, we had a Leverkusen comeback in the 94th minute.
Classic.
We had Barcelona winning 5-1 and Ter Stegen got injured. They've got like 8 players injured now. We've got Real scoring with all the Galacticos. We've got Liverpool winning a game in 10 minutes at home. They did nothing else, basically. We've got Arsenal and City putting together a classic. We've got red cards galore in the Prem. We've got United bottling a game. Like, could you not ask for the most Prem, most football weekend of AC, but in terms of football, like, just watching it.
It was a good weekend to be on football Twitter.
There
was a lot going on.
There was entertainment
on football Twitter.
Shit ton going on. So I'm just happy with football. Football, it takes a while to get back. Let's be honest. Like the first 3 weeks is like feeling they're out.
I watched there be like an international break in like a week, and just kill it. I swear to God, October. You know what? There is one in October, so
this is the first week. It felt like it was back since the Euros. That's all I'm gonna say. It felt good. Players were good. Enough drama. Not too much, but enough, I think, for me to be happy about. Again, I wasn't involved in it, so I was pretty happy sitting back and watching it all.
No, it was a good weekend.
Let's go to the top. And the first game I want to talk about, because early game, you get to watch it and be actually awake for it. Chelsea 3, West Ham 0. I'm afraid he's not here because I was going to rip into West Ham. They're shit.
Oh, yeah. Our guy, top 5.
I was waiting for, it sort of ruins the whole segment. He's not here, but far out.
Look, Spanish Moyes versus Michael Jackson.
Yeah. You summarised the game so well. Michael Jackson, Thriller versus Paya Moyes.
That was crazy. Paya Moyes is crazy. But
it's bad.
Yeah, from a West Ham point of view, I don't know what sort of green shoots we're seeing under Lopetegui at the moment. It's been pretty grim. Mm-hmm. They've made the signings, but it doesn't there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of nothing's gelled at the moment at least. No. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of direction with the way they're trying to play, and it just all seems very sloppy, and so many areas they need to address at the moment. It
was a classic every time. It was like a equivalent for an Arsenal. Like you'd celebrate a corner in most games. Like I think Chelsea was celebrating West Ham having a corner because every time they had one, they just break.
The counter was mental.
Cooked them on the counter.
The amount of space Nicholas Jackson was getting on the counter was insane. They didn't have no legs. It looked like they just couldn't run. Yeah. And I don't know if it was supposed to be essentially You swap Mavropanos for Tadebo.
But even there, but this is to my point on the manager. Like, he brought off Somerville, who was probably the best player of the pick, got booed for that. Fans are leaving. Not signing Tadebo. I know Fulcook's been injured, but I don't think you've utilised. You still got Antonio. Like, now Bowen's back up top in this game here. Like, I think coming into it, I think the commentator said it. I think Andy Hounds he said it. That, like,
Andy just
was in every game of the weekend.
Does every game.
But he's like, this is the must win for West Ham. It's like, it sort of felt like it, right? They've only got one win.
Have they got 3 points? Is that all they got?
No, and got the draw against Fulham last, again, which is lucky. 95th minute. Danny Ings, like, popped up.
True.
So, like, it hasn't been good. You made 8 signings. You've been backed by the club. And then you think about David Moyes. And this is sort of the Thursday pod. Nathan brought it up ages ago, like ages back, said, they'll regret this. And then I even went out and said, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Moyes back.
Did they just move David Moyes on, though, like, because they sort of felt it was the end of his tenure? Like, as in,
it was a style of football thing. The fans want him gone.
Is that, like, actually why he was gone, though?
I think.
How long was he there? 5 years?
5 years across 2 different blocks, though. His last block had 3 years.
Yep.
So it was 7th, 8th Conference League, and then 11th, whatever, last year. And then
it was a relatively, but it was a relatively successul tenure.
A trophy.
But you're right. But also on that same time, like token, like it was probably only 5 or 6 years ago where West Ham fans were saying like they're predicting themselves 6th, like pretty much every year. Yeah. They were like, oh, we're going to break in this year, right?
That'll be the
so year. Like, you know, it's not like West Ham fans have had no aspirations and sort of like, you know, expectation. I just think there was a couple years there where they really dropped off. Mm-hmm. And then maybe the standard slightly shifted when a few more, like, you know, Newcastle sort of popped up and the Big 6 sort of became like a Big 7, Big 8. Yeah. Where maybe expectations were adjusted a little bit, right? And like, because it felt like Moyes was actually getting success out of this team, as you said, towards the back end of his tenure. So you must be right in the sort of style of play thing. Like, and
it felt like it.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those clubs where the fans, to its credit or its demise, are basically, they sort of do run the club. You can feel the mood of the crowd.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
The game.
Like, is there, like, what is that financial? Is that like, you know, they just gone on a major boycott? Like, what? The
owners just bend down to whatever the fans want, because the fans are always on the owner's back. They're always on the club back. And maybe yes, and I would agree if you brought in the non-Spanish bloody Moyes. If you brought in someone totally different, like an Eddie Howe type. I'd be like, oh, fair enough. Great move. Give him the guy time. But if you bring in the same guy that seemed to... Again, you've been all right at Wolves.
But what do we see, like, play style wise from that Wolves
that's
team?
That's the point. If you come in for play style, what's the point of getting rid of David Moyes? You've just got to establish. I think if David Moyes had these type of players, he'd be doing all right.
Well, yeah. So, like, you look at what David Moyes did with significantly less.
Rubbish squad.
And he made them competitive. Like... You know, they had down periods, but he made them competitive overall. And look, there's going to a lot. It doesn't feel like, you know, Lopetegui having a very short tenure is miles away. It feels like one of those where everything's just gone completely wrong, and they just need to address it, like cut it at the neck.
Yeah, before it grows.
And yeah, exactly. So that's a bit of a watch.
It's just a watch. Yeah. I touched on it in the prediction video. But talking about Chelsea. Decent result for them again. It's hard to sort of rate them though, because both their big wins have come against teams that just imploded. Like Wolves and West Ham both imploded. But at face value, you got to take it as it is, like 3-0. Jackson scoring.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you got to look at it on sort of in this game. You can sort of you can look at it holistically, but then you can look at the intricacies and Nicholas Jackson finishing well. Like, you know,
finishes well.
Like no, they were great finishes. Right? I like that little outside the boot thing was really cheeky. That was nice. You know, if you can get him. I don't know, I guess full of confidence. Like, I always tend to think players at this level who can't finish has to be confidence. You haven't made it to the Premier League not being able to finish. Like Darwin Núñez on the weekend. Yeah. Like, if you can get Nicholas Jackson in full confidence doing what he has been doing for most of the year, to be honest. Like, how many goals he got now? He would have 5. I
think the stat was said as saying he's been his highest scoring player outside of Erling Haaland since.
Yeah, he'd have 4 or 5, which is like, you know, one a game at the moment, so that's fair enough. But there's that clean sheet as well. Didn't even look like conceding, you know. So you can take positives within the win as a Chelsea fan, I think, and also, as you mentioned before we started, like, you also got a good look at the depth they have. Like, as in this is like seriously. they've cleansed the deadwood now.
Yep.
And this is like seriously good depth, which they are going to utilize throughout the whole season. Like João Felix, Nkunku, Neto coming on. Like that is insane. And you got Mudryk just sitting there. I mean, I know Mudryk is like...
It's Mudryk.
Yeah, it's Mudryk, right?
Yeah.
but there is still... There's got to be something.
There's
got to be something there, right?
100 mil, at least 10 mil of a player.
There's got to be something there.
Give us a
off
penny.
the bench.
Give us a penny backs or something.
Like worst case, right?
Stagger goal somewhere, just whack one in.
But so yeah, like there's Jackson's got 4 goals. Okay,
it's
maybe a couple assists.
It's just pretty dangerous because that bench thing's where it sunk in for me. Where it was look like a training drill, and you're bringing on Bundesliga Player of the Year from 2 years ago. You bring it on João Felix, who's supposed to be the next coming of Ronaldo,
who's still 24,
who's still young, and you got Neto, who's Prem baller. I think he should start over Sancho. That's just
I was thinking the same thing when I saw the lineup. I was like, oh, really? Like, but I think he's established though that Sancho's playing off the left and Neto's off the right. Like when he came out midweek and said that, it was look take those things with like a grain of salt. But at the same time, like
it's given Make a Wish for Jadon Sancho. Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It's almost like they're trying to piss off United fans by making.
I didn't like the Sancho signing. I thought
it made no sense.
I thought that they were on this sort of path where like they just cleansing everything. You know, we have a lot of depth up there now. Like we don't exactly need another one.
Cole Palmer,
and then you bring in Jadon Sancho. Like you can look at it 2 ways. You can go, okay, there's that, and then you can also look at it from like an investment point of view, where it's like, okay, there is a potential insane player in here.
Yeah,
we can get him on a relatively cheap market price.
Yeah.
And he could double in price, or he could double in price by being a good player.
And we just keep him cooking. Yeah, it looks interesting for them at least. Are you happy with them so far? Like, would you
Chelsea?
Because these are prelude. We're gonna have grade teams in a few weeks' time. At right now, where would you sort of sit them in terms of like a grade?
What have they got? They've got how many points?
I think they've got 7. No, we've had 5 games.
Yeah, they must have more than 7 points.
Might be 10 because they've drawn the game versus Palace. They've won their last 2. They are sitting on 10 points, yeah.
Who did they lose to?
They lost to City. They drawn to Palace.
What was the City game again?
2-0.
It was 2-0, I think.
I think it was 2-0.
Yeah, I think it was pretty comprehensive.
But it was,
Wasn't it the first weekend?
They were never in doubt of winning that.
Nah, look, I think coming off that win, right, I'd probably be rating them like a B area.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that sort of area right now.
You know, getting a result against City would have made it an A. Put it like that, right? Yeah, but as in maybe like I think like a flat out B would be acceptable, right? Yep. You know, not to grade every team for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, we can be
but like you got a new manager. They still they come into the season with a new manager. They still had that overloaded squad, and to be on 10 points,
check that
with having played a couple of tough games on paper, then. Yeah, you definitely take that. And more importantly, there feels like there's a direction now, right? Finally. So it's in that, it's such an important thing to have within a club is something to look towards in terms of for the fans, for the players, for, have a trajectory or something, right? Because it takes you so far, I think.
Probably, yeah.
And now there feels like there's something, Maresca seems like he's relatively, hard-edged.
Yeah.
Relatively sort of military vibe, a little bit skits.
Yeah. Bald head.
Yeah. I think it's what they needed. And I think it's Chelsea fans are on an upward trajectory, put it like that.
We've seen it. Klopp, Arteta, it works if you just have a style. Start with a big win at the top of the week, and that was a big news to start the week off. Then Bournemouth went to Liverpool, lost 3-0. Again, it's a Liverpool 10-minute period here. Diaz double. Nunez with a worldie, by the way.
Yeah, so just really quickly on that. Would you be starting Diaz or Jota?
Oh, gee, big question. I think you have to go Diaz.
Diaz, let's go Diaz.
Yeah, because
I still think you have to go Jota.
Jota gives you 7s every week. Diaz, though, can give you... he could easily have been a 4 in the week, and he missed some...
But what do Liverpool need? Do they need 7s? Do they need 4s and 10s?
We say that. Salah's dropping 4s and 10s right now as well.
So that's what I'm saying.
Maybe you need a Jota there.
I think you got Diaz and Jota, and I know Diaz is on sort of 10s at the moment, but I think he's more of that 7-7-7 mold.
Yeah.
I think Jota's the same thing. I think you want to pair someone with Salah, who's going to give you probably 4s and 10s for the rest of his career, which sort of looks like it, right?
Yeah.
I think that pairs better with like having those two on the left of him who are more reliable output wise.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you get more of like the Nottingham Forest results when you have players like, I know they had Jota, but when you have more Darwins and stuff up top, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting predicament for them now as well.
Yeah. Well, I think I would still go, Jota up top and Diaz on the left mostly. But you saw, Nottingham Forest, Diaz chucked in a stinker. Well, not a stinker, we just couldn't finish. Same as Salah, and you get Nottingham Forest. And on the weekend, Diaz was having that type of game until he scored that first goal. So it's like, I can see if you put Jota on the left and then Nunes at top. Because in the end of the day, they have to get Nunes in there. That has to, 100 mil, you have to, or whatever it was, 70 mil, you have to get him in there. So that's sort of their next problem. But I think for them, it was like a classic Liverpool Anfield, whacking 3 in the space of 15 minutes. Nothing else really happened after that. So they'll take that. Let's talk quickly here before we get into the FPL stuff. Aston Villa 3, Wolves 1. I made sure to actually keep an eye on this game because I was very excited to see what was going to happen. Derby, crazy, like crazy back and forth. Wolves scoring early. Then, the classic Mosquera madness at the back. He was just doing all these things, blocks, crazy deflections. Dawson at the back holding it down. Like, Wolves look good. They were like well and truly on top of this game. Then sort of 60 minutes comes around and then Villa just were relentless. 3 right, basically right at the end. 73rd minute goal. Then Enzo Konza at the 88th minute. And then, of course, John Duran off the bench to score in stoppage time. Give it a 3-1 result. Once again, though, for Wolves, man, this is just like... I don't want to say it, but I sort of feel like it's feeling like a relegation type...
Battle.
Battle. Man, not season, battle. Because this is
I would say battle.
This is what we saw a lot last year where teams...
It's a bit grim.
They play some great footy for like 60% of the game, but if you're not on for it for 90 minutes...
They haven't had an easy set of fixtures.
They haven't had an easy set of fixtures.
I'm going to, Villa away. Like, what would you expect? Newcastle at home, still. It's still Newcastle.
Still Newcastle.
Right? And then Forest away, they got a point, right? So, it's not the worst result ever. Chelsea at home. And then I think the game before that was, us. I swear they versed us.
Yeah, they were at top of the game. So it is.
So their 5 games have been us, Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, and then they got their one result against Forest, who are also playing good.
Very good.
So it's like, it is a bit grim for Wolves at the moment, right? And I pray that their owners know how fixtures work. Because I get concerned when these things happen, right? Like with Poch, or I don't know. There's been scenarios before where managers have had the most they've had the most terrible run of games, right?
Get the sack.
Where fans expect nothing, and then they get the sack, and it's like it happened with Vincent Kompany last year with Burnley.
Yeah.
So it was like, no. Happened with Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace last year. Where before Glasner came in, they had, what was it? Oh my God.
You away, one of them?
I'm tripping. No, it was Vieira or something.
No, it was Hodgson.
Was it Hodgson?
Yeah,
Hodgson, something. Where they had an absolutely...
But it happened with Vieira.
Happened with Vieira, yes.
Happened twice.
I'm getting Kompany and Vieira mixed up. Yeah, that's kind of stuff. But I'm getting Kompany and Vieira mixed up in my head genuinely with on the bench, I'm seeing them both, right? They were coming into an amazing fixture run after having the most terrible run. And they were okay. And they gave them the sack. Yeah. I was like, you're finally coming to the FPL all greens, man. Like, what is going on here?
Fixture run.
It was the all greens. I was like, yes, I'm about to
Next
load
5,
it. I'm getting in. Eze, Elise's coming in. It's all coming in.
Yeah.
And they gave them the sack. So I'm praying with Gary O'Neill, right? They don't make a weird call here or something.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. But you just never know with these things.
I know.
So, look, I think Wolves will be okay.
Yeah.
I
am overdoing it. I just, they could have had 2 wins already. That's the other way.
This is the tail of Wolves, to be honest. Though. It's like a Wolves specific issue.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did this happen last year? United, I swear. Yeah. They should have beat us at one point.
Yeah. Well, they were cooking at home. They beat Newcastle. They beat City at home.
I swear they drew or beat City or something. And
they got all those injuries and it all sort of
Yeah.
It's, Gary is a great, the fact they were up 1-0 against Unai's side for 74 minutes says a lot about this team. Yeah. And Mosquera went down and got injured, which I think hurt them as well as much as
of a shit ass as
shit
he
out
is.
and
He's
scary
actually
man
okay.
he is. He's actually a very good football player. I'm gonna be honest with him. But a very good result for Villa. Come back again. That's the other point.
That guy Morgan Rogers, man.
Morgan's cooking.
Yeah.
John Duran off the bench cooking.
Yeah, he's seriously cooking.
I don't know. You got to try and work out how you're going to get him more minutes, man. Because this is
Well,
ridiculous.
if he doesn't get more minutes, he's obviously just going to leave.
He's going to walk.
Like, because
Well,
why wouldn't you? But then again, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to not play Watkins.
We can't not play Walker, but at the same time, this guy's in nuts form.
Can you play two of these guys up top though? I don't know.
Think you can.
I can't think of an Unai Emery team with like.
He doesn't play the box, does he? Because sometimes you can play like the 4-2-2 and you sort of play the box.
He sort of did something at Arsenal with like Lacazette and Orba, but it was a bit. That was prime Orba off the left. Now I think
say you
about
can
it.
push. You push
like it wasn't. It didn't really work that well. The best version we got under Unai was with Orba up top.
Yeah, on
and Lacazette just wasn't really playing.
Bench player.
Yeah, it was like I don't think and Unai at PSG or like.
Even
Villarreal. Villarreal. I can't really think of like
I don't think
a two-striker setup they've ever played, which is what you're going to actually need with Duran and Watkins. Like they're both sort of out and out nines, right?
Unless you really take it back. Watkins was a winger like way back when.
No, I actually saw this on a video I think recently. Like I think it was like Tom Garrett or something.
I might have heard this as well. I thought it was TikTok.
I think it was pitch
and
side.
Someone whacked a combined 11 and he put it
it was pitch side. Yeah. And it was,
I saw this on TikTok.
Yeah, it was a team of the week, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I get it.
The last time he played.
I was like, they were like, back in the days at Brentford. I was like, lads, Watkins off on the wing.
In the mighty championship, mate. It was cooking a championship winger.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I'm.
No, it's not.
That was completely outrageous call. But,
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, so you're right, though. They will have to try and figure this out somehow.
Well, Duran was about a day away from leaving to West Ham, if I'm not mistaken. And then to the next son, Fulkrug. So then he couldn't go.
True, I think you're right.
Because he whacked the whole hammers up in the IG Live and stuff like
that.
Did
he? Yeah. He put the hammers up.
He put the hammers up.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah. I think it's too good.
It's a bit of a win-win for everyone at the moment, though, this current Duran thing. Like, 100%. As in, Villa will be loving it. The price tags is going up.
And they're winning
then his wages is going up, for his new contract. Mm-hmm. And then, like, what more is it? It's a win-win. Like, so... As much as it might be frustrating, I guess, for him not to be starting at the moment, you also have to have a little bit of self-awareness. Like you're behind Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, England, number 9 type of guy.
Like you probably should have left if you really wanted the game time, right? Which sounds like you might have. But yeah, it's a funny one. It's
an indifferent one.
Yeah,
you might help them in Champions. I tell you what, they might go all the way there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to do very well there. Yeah. Let's do FPL. We went to FPL, and I'll back that in with the two of us here. Take us through what the hell is going on here, because you're cooking.
So I'm ranked 13K, roll 12.5K in the world.
Yeah, round up.
We'll just go with 13 because it means I can be high next week.
Yeah.
So I had a very good. I got 94.
94.
I don't know what my weekly ranking was though. Where can I find that? I had a very good week. I don't know how to find that on the app. But regardless, I don't know. It's just been a great start to the year. I started with Haaland.
Yeah.
That was the right call.
That was my mistake not to start with Haaland.
Traded in Diaz before United.
Huge.
Like when he got the double. And since then he's got another double. It's just like, it's really nice to see your team and there's this point spread.
Yeah.
You got Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Got a goal. Rogers 2 assists. Trent, Gabriel, Henderson. Like I traded in Watkins. But yeah, mate, I'm absolutely spanking the rest of the players on league.
You're Pep Guardiola.
Which, by the way, has quite a few players.
29 this year.
That's more than I expected.
We had 20 last year. We've got 10 more.
29's a good effort.
We've got another 10 more, basically.
So, like...
It's not like we've just got a short league. We've got a
pretty
big
league. 6 of us.
No, it's a big league.
30 of us.
It's a big league.
And I've gapped second place by 30 points.
I tell you what, the guys in 3rd and 4th I work with, they are criminally on FPL. So this
369, Trump 224, whatever that is. Trump 2024.
And we got some already high scorers, like in general.
Yeah.
You're just clear though.
Yeah,
400 points is ridiculous by match week 5, by the way. That's nuts.
I've been very consistent.
That's 80 point.
I don't think I've broken 100 yet.
So you just whacked in some 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I've just been getting 70s to 90s every week, and it's pretty unreal to me. I was pretty stoked with it. In terms of the outlook for this week, So it's sort of wild card time for a lot of people. Wild card 6, 7.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not wild carding. I don't know. Even if I'm supposed to do it, I cannot wild card this team. Like,
because we get 2 wild cards now. So I think it's match week 20 was it last year?
It's like December.
So you'll be locked in for those double game because you can wild card one of those double game weeks before you get the refresh.
Yeah.
So you're going to be ahead of
I
everyone. in those
might
3
do
weeks.
it next week.
Well, you're going to
Because
go
I think you want
a couple reds
I think you want to triple up on City and triple up on Arsenal in those 2
after
weeks.
after you get the yes. Good
But I also have tried, like, I don't know, but I haven't really looked. That's the thing, I haven't been looking that far ahead.
No,
I've been like looking week.
You're winning the game weeks.
I literally look week by week. And I obviously, when I trade a player and I look at it, like, relatively sort of, I look at like a 6-game fixture, right? So I'm not trading him.
Not looking in one green with 5 reds.
My only bad trade this year was probably bringing Eze back after Chelsea.
And then
I was telling you this. I started with Eze, right?
This is crazy.
And he did nothing. He got 2 points. Then he had United, and I was like, okay, look, it's him, or I can go Diaz. So I went Eze to Diaz, right? And Diaz scored. Oh, sorry, Eze scored first in that week, and I was like, oh my god, classic.
Against Chelsea. Yeah,
he scored that banger against Chelsea.
Yeah,
and I'm like, classic. It was his lowest XG game of the season so far. And then thank God Diaz went and got me a double. I was stoked.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And then I was like, oh,
gotta bring him back.
Anthony Gordon's just sitting there. He's playing off the right. I hate Gordon off the right. Like, he's so much better off the left.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm going back to Eze. Like, I want this guy on my team, man. He's on pens. Right?
Yeah.
He's like lock on pens.
Set piece,
So then next week, Gordon does nothing. I was like, cool, tick.
Yeah.
And then Eze hadn't done anything yet. He had pretty good XG last week. But then they get a pen. I was like, oh, yes. They're going to get a pen. Finally going to get some returns on Eze. Mateta takes it. What is this, man? And then, oh, my God. And then this week as well.
2 goals. He should have 2.
At least the second one where he's like the penalty spot and P rolls it into Onana. Like, what was that? So of the 5 game weeks, the 1 week I haven't had Eze was his lowest XG week. He's got like 3 XGI.
Yeah.
And I haven't got 1 return from this guy. It's unbelievable. I've got 1 clean sheet from him. That's all I got.
You've got that bullshit ref called it back free kick.
Yeah, so the first one.
That was Brentford the first week.
Yeah.
The second week they played who? Who did they play the second week? Fuck. Oh, wait, the second
I don't know. But he also like he should have got a return in every game. Then you sell
him. He scores probably one of the goals of the year already.
It's unbelievable.
Bring him back. Doesn't get the pen. This week should have scored 2.
But it's all right because I'm pretty sure he's got good fixes too. Oh, he's got Everton away. So it's
have a few more than they get stinky a little bit in a few weeks.
Yeah, so he's got Everton away, then he's got Liverpool home, tough.
Yeah.
But the other thing about Eze is the reason he's appealing is because like, he's sort of that Solanke mold into that Tony mold in the sense that he's the main man. Yeah, not the player, but he's the main man. Yeah. So it's even if it's Liverpool home, if you think Palace are going to score, then you back Eze to sort of be involved 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really hate the bad fixtures.
No.
But he needs to start doing it, man. I'm going to trade you out again to a Guemo, who also I really, really want, but I just can't fit him in. Anyway, that's a little FPL right now. We'll track that. Chat. That's a track.
By the way, Tots, maybe I'm just shit.
Is Tots going on?
I'm shit. But Tots is
we
currently...
don't care about Tots.
Where's Tots? 14th. Shit.
Did we address why Tots isn't here? Really, really quick.
Oh my God.
Tots was going to be here. So we got here at 8 a.m.
Yeah, late
at 7:50, we get a message from him. Oh, I can't come. And I was like, okay. Then I'm reading the message. Oh, I forgot. It's my mum's birthday breakfast. Just forgot. It's my mum's birthday breakfast.
Just forgot it was happening. By the way, on Sunday mornings, I send out what's happening, the 2 things I'm going to do for the week, what time we're going to do. So you should know that tomorrow, you should have a rough
also like
idea.
He was the one, I was like, oh, can we do it later? And he's like, pushing. No, so early.
Yeah.
I got Padel. Mum, I'll go straight off. I got Padel.
Hey,
that's funny. Yeah,
that's what we have here. That's Tots. That's why we love Tots here, and that's why we love Tots here on the couch. But classic. I didn't actually mention that's quite funny. We're back to 2 again.
We have to get back that in.
We did 2 weeks with 3 of us, and then we axed it again. We couldn't do 3 weeks. Let's get to the first segment of the week, which was created by 2 players who I've got on my list. Well, actually, I'll talk about them later when I name them. But this is 10 underappreciated players. In my mind, it sort of sounds like underrated, but it's not. I think players that sometimes maybe they do start, but they need more props.
It's not. Yeah. You don't have to start to be in this list.
Yeah, you don't have to start, and you don't have to be
underrated. Implies you are better than people give you credit for.
Yeah,
underappreciated.
Not talked about enough. I think.
Exactly. It's like people don't recognize what you do.
Yeah.
they don't give you enough credit for like what you do.
What you do on the pitch.
Yeah, in terms of, effort or durability or, all those sort of things. Right?
Yeah. And I think I've got
durability. I didn't even think of that one. That's a good criteria for this.
And maybe one of my guys doesn't have that. That's probably a problem.
Let me try and have a look.
Here we go. We're going to name all 10 because this is what we're going to do from now on, because we're going to do one, we're going to individually, one just chuck out. That's the new format going forward. I'll get us started then. So I've gone, the two players that have made me do this list, Nick Jackson and Alex Iwobi.
That feels reactive.
That is reactive, but I stand by last year. I said it last year.
14 goals.
The 14 goals in the year thing. I'm backing that in. Those two have been massive. Iwobi as well, I think, doesn't get talked about what he does for Fulham. His assist on the weekend was nuts to Smith Rowe. I've got Ben Tenker in there. I think he's the best midfielder, but doesn't get the start.
That's a good pick.
I think he's underrated. Somerville, Mavididi, similar things. Both seem to get dragged a lot for their teams, and I still think they're probably their best wingers. So Somerville on the weekend, again, probably West Ham's best player, got dragged at the hour mark. Mavididi's just on a start for Leicester, but probably their best player. Harvey Barnes, again, just trying to get involved.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pick from you.
I think he should be more involved, but again, it hurts your boy Gordon, which we'll get into that in a bit as well.
Devo, to be honest.
Morgan Rogers is my boy. I think he still is an elite level player. That's not
appreciated. I'm not sure about that
one. We can debate that one. Lewis Cook, again, another one of my guys. Bournemouth midfielder. Again, it's Bournemouth. You don't really talk about Bournemouth players, but I think he's really, really good. Daniel Munoz from Palace at fullback, been fantastic since joining. And I think the most underappreciated player, maybe not by commentators, but by fans, Murillo from Forest.
Oh, we've had a couple link ups here.
Murillo from Forest, I think's nuts, and he was crazy yesterday. So he's probably the biggest one for me. There's my 10.
Is this going to be on the screen?
I'll come back on my. Yeah, it's only two of us. I'm working on there. Yeah.
So,
who we got?
What are the same ones we got?
Shall I run through mine? And
I've got Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes. Yep.
What was it? So I remember. So I've got Harvey Barnes. You got Harvey Barnes. I've got Alex Iwobi. You've got Alex Iwobi.
That's Iwobi. Yep.
And I've also got Murillo.
Yeah.
So they're the three of them.
That's the consensus picks.
And if I read these other ones off, let me know if we have them.
Okay.
So the two that sort of sprung to mind for me here was Ake and Akanji.
Right? That's valid as hell.
You know,
I didn't think big boys, but that makes a lot of sense.
Ake and Akanji. Yeah. And I think I'll try not to explain them all, but as in these two specifically, I want to explain. Because they don't play every week.
Yeah. And they're English.
And it's like they're just around the most star-studded lineup, and there's sort of centre backs playing it on the full back. Like they don't get the attacking returns of fullbacks, but they've both been there now for they've both played 2 full seasons of 30 plus games. Yeah, right. Maxed out, starting.
Yeah.
And the City have won back-to-back leagues since they've been there. They've just been another addition to the City squad. You cannot underestimate what these two have done. They've gone from that João Cancelo model to sort of these two fullbacks now.
Yeah.
I think they deserve a lot of credit. And then, aside from the three we had, I've got Thomas Partey.
Yeah, valid as well.
I feel like it's a stick run because of some possible allegations. Okay. No, I'm being serious.
Still over his head.
I feel it's still, mate, every time he plays and the other team doesn't win, it's like that's the first thing I see on Twitter. Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can say the word. You got a serious allegation against him, player starting for you.
How dare you?
Yeah, and it's
how dare you beat us?
A couple Snapchat screenshots apparently making. Look, I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying that I'm not going to base a couple allegations off Snapchat screenshots, right?
Yeah, I say valid.
From Turks and Caicos or something. I don't know. Got another Arsenal player, former Arsenal player, Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I was close having him, by the way. I was very, very close putting him.
I got Mateus Cunha.
That's a good one.
Is he underappreciated?
I think he's underappreciated. That's a very good one.
I've got Johan Visser.
Yeah, you got a good list. You got a very good list.
This one, I was kind of and this is my last one that I've got separate. I've got Jordan Pickford.
Pickford's an interesting one.
I still think controversially rated and appreciated.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put him in. And I feel like I can validate
maybe my response is probably the reason why he's underappreciated. The fact that I went straight away. I was like...
Yeah, and maybe it's because they've had a bit of a rough start this year. But I think you've got to look at Pickford's career holistically.
Yeah.
He would have been there, he would have been starting now 6-7 years.
When did he?
I reckon.
He went to Sunderland for Everton, right? Was that
never
move?
He went from Sunderland. That would make so much sense.
He would have been ages ago.
That makes so much sense.
I'm pretty sure it was Sunderland to Everton. Wait, I'm going to check this now.
I want to. How many seasons do you reckon Pickford's played?
9.
He's 30, right?
Oh, he's down, Jesus.
So he's 30. he has played. He's played 38. His first 38 game season was 2017-18. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's into his 8th season as Everton number 1, right?
That's pretty impressive.
And has never been sort of in and out.
No,
There's never been any controversy around his position. He's been England's number 1 now for years now too.
Yeah, that would be 8 years because 2 World Cups. So yeah.
I think that alone would imply that you're recognised as like a relatively top echelon keeper.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he is. I think it's almost like English tack reverse. Right?
Because he plays so well for
England. It's kind of like roadman tax.
Yeah.
Generally. He's a roadman in the net, fam. What are you doing?
No, he is. He's so good for England that everyone has this like, he has to be like elite keeper.
Yeah, and maybe like not as good with his feet in terms
not
of
aesthetically
like,
pleasing. He's a tiny guy in the net.
Yeah, he's just not really. Yeah, it's a bit sus. He's not really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, if I didn't say I shouldn't have put it that way. Doesn't look like a keeper. That's
he's not 6'7" and Brazilian.
Yeah,
or like
not ball playing, not Spanish.
Yeah, like he plays for Everton, right?
Yeah,
so it's in
shit ass club.
He's never really been rumoured with a big move. Like there was a couple things there back in the day, but yeah, that's sort of.
It's been
I think that. Yeah, I think you're right. Almost epitomises why I think he's underappreciated.
Yeah, my reaction just sums it up. There we go. So the consensus ones, let's go with them. So it was Murillo.
Yep.
It was Iwobi.
And Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes.
Really glad you said Harvey Barnes. He was number 1 on my list.
Number 1.
Yeah. And it could also be a little bit, he's been good recently.
But I think he's underplayed as well, sort of.
Yeah. I just think Harvey Barnes, like, at the moment, shows like what he's capable of. Like, they signed him to Newcastle and then he was injured a lot.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's like sort of dethroned Gordon off the left is kind of like
nuts. Because Gordon's the best winger.
Well, he was absolutely insane off the left last year.
Best left winger last season.
Yeah, I was really surprised Eddie Howe's done that. But if that's what you're going to get from Harvey Barnes, then fair play. So that one, I think, is an elite shout from both of us. Murillo, I think you said the same reasons.
I think the commentators have gotten jumped on it, but I don't think anyone's actually jumped on it yet as like fans. I think people have, this guy's 22.
Oh, Murillo's 22.
Yeah. So I was very close to putting us in
I didn't realize he was that young.
I was going to put him in, but I put the other dude in just on top.
Oh, I did not realize Murillo's 22.
I should have said that earlier. No, yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he's 22.
Okay, well that makes him like seriously under. No, that takes it next level.
Let me
start for a player of that age to not be getting
22.
Wow, that's mental. For a player of that age, like playing centre back, to not be getting sort of like the recognition in the Prem is very rare.
Yeah.
Like, they normally play 2 good. Like Lenny Yoro, mate. I've never seen him touch grass. I've heard more about this guy than I have Murillo.
And he's been here for 2 seasons in the Prem. And he won Player of the Year for them last year, 21.
Yeah, no,
21.
fairs, mate.
Let's build onto that because next game, talk about a little bit, is Fulham 3, Newcastle 1. Classic Fulham, isn't this? Just a bounce back result against a team that was unbeaten.
Insanely Fulham, to be honest.
Like I said it earlier, Wobi's assist to ESR was fantastic. A great Jimenez goal, little chest down and swivel shot, and then right at the end.
Oh, the Jimenez goal. I want to.
The Jimenez goal was nuts, yeah. And then right at the end, Bruno Guimaraes handed Reece Nelson a goal. So
that guy Reece.
The Arsenal fans were celebrating the weekend before the game even started.
It was an Arsenal treble.
It was Arsenal deluxe on the weekend. I just want to talk about this front four. It's cooking right now. Like you've got Adama Traore with a crazy cross to Jimenez for the first goal. ESR at the 10's been fantastic.
Is Jimenez like cooking this year
Jimenez
or what?
Is back.
Well, because they
started
with
goals.
Muniz.
Yep.
And now he's been
Muniz blanked.
Benched.
And then Jimenez comes on.
Jimenez come on.
2 starts.
That finish was unreal though.
Chest swivel back.
I just feel like that's what we haven't seen from him in since the injury, unfortunately.
Yeah, literally.
Like he's been around the mark. He's still he's an elite striker when he was sort of becoming an elite striker back in the day for Wolves. However, so positionally he's a proper number 9, right?
Yeah,
so he's got positions down pat. Knows how to find it, all those things, and he was still doing that when he came back.
Yeah,
but it felt like he just lost everything when it came to having a shot.
That touch,
right?
The confidence.
That finish was insane. The touch, and then he took it so early, it was a quick touch, and then just smashed it in.
Which his back was still to goal when he connected with the ball.
Yeah, it was unreal how he managed to change the angle to get it on target. So I was really really impressed by that finish. Right.
Good ball from Traore as well to him. I really liked that. and you got Wobie's assist for ESR. I don't know how he sees that part. I don't know how he sees. I thought the cross.
Well,
was
they
on.
nearly did it 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah, they had a link up earlier.
It was literally it was like the exact same run. But that's ESR's bread and butter, though. To be honest,
little in the pockets.
How many times did he do that for us? That was what he sort of made his name.
That was him. Yeah,
running in, taking a couple touches, and just tucking it away.
Yeah, good finish.
And so it was really really good finish as well.
Yeah.
Is Traore gonna? That's his spot, yeah.
That's his. Now,
like is Reece gonna?
He might get a chance. Because Fulham's that team, right? Muniz and Jimenez, and you got Reece Nelson and Adam Trott. These are guys that will put together 5 amazing weeks.
Yeah,
and then we'll go for 5.
See, if you're Reece and you're Arsenal, right? Because he's still on loan.
He's still technically an Arsenal contracted player.
Yeah, like you're not sending him somewhere where you're not under the impression he's not gonna play every week. Like, right? You know what I mean? Because it's in.
There's probably something in the contract as well. You'd think.
Oh, see, I think Arsenal fans all have such a soft spot for all the Hale Land boys. I want him to come back and be a part of our makeup. Like I really do, right? But that's not going to happen unless he probably scores like 10 goals, plus, genuinely, right? And 2, the actual likelihood is probably that he does well. His price tag goes 30-40 mil. Yeah, we sell him.
Yeah,
which is sad, but you'd still think that he's gone to that club. You know, to play.
You'd expect to go and start some games. Yeah,
that would be the impression I would be under. Like, you know, if I was Reece and I was Edu and the Arsenal management. Yeah. So, but where does he play though? Who did he come on for?
I think it was for Traore.
But he was on the left.
He popped off the goal on the left, but I'm pretty sure he was still on the
right.
Right, I think. Again, I didn't watch. Just I had the goal rush. I just watched the highlights back, so I didn't actually see the in depth of it.
Yeah.
I think he did come on for Traore.
Because obviously, if he's behind Iwobi, then he's not starting ever. Because Iwobi, to touch on the underappreciated thing, has cemented his spot in this
last 2 seasons. He's been that guy for them. And
so I guess Traore is probably the one who's a bit more up in debate. But then again, he offers something so unique as well. Like
that got the assist. Maybe later on in the first half, he just bullied someone.
Yeah,
someone just got dropped to the floor and
he's a player where, regardless of maybe lack of sort of finesse and intricate skills, like his strength and pace are just so unique and can be such a valuable asset in sort of a team like Fulham, right?
Yeah.
That it just you can see that front ball being locked now for the rest of the year.
I feel like it. Because Nelson can work his way in here and there, but I think that's sort of Fulham.
And same as Muniz. He'll play.
Muniz will be back at some point.
Yeah.
I just think that's the history of the Fulham, right? You'll have 5 good games and they'll swap them out.
They actually nailed it, to be honest.
I think
that's
the way
they'll get battered.
Yeah.
And he'll make some changes.
Exactly. That's just what I do. Last week was disappointing. They dropped the 3 points to West Ham.
Look at the fixtures. Who are they going to get battered by? It's not who you expect.
City will come up and they'll lose by 5.
Yeah, but it's not who you expect it. It's going to be they're going to lose. They're going to lose at home 3-0 to Bournemouth. That will happen. You know?
Well, they actually away to Forest next week. That could be the game. They just get obliterated. That'll be fun. Actually, a good weekend coming up. But yeah, happy with Fulham. We didn't really worry about Fulham, but that's just a classic. Gowan should have won last week. We didn't comfortably this week. Newcastle lose their unbeaten status.
Yeah, so probably due, to be honest.
Yeah, they were really battling to stay there. But
Newcastle thing's a little bit scary.
But they're still fucking with that top 6, I think.
Now, they're still obviously up there.
It's ridiculous.
Look, you're going to lose games, but I don't know. I had really high expectations for Newcastle, and I want them to prove me right.
They're still 3 points off the top, which is ridiculous. But it just
only 3 points off the top.
Off the top. That's their first loss. So that's only.
That's their first loss. But I thought they drew a game. Well, I guess they did. So 1 point. Yeah.
Yeah, because City have drawn 1 now. So yeah, it's literally 1 draw, 1 loss.
To 4
but
wins.
1 goal difference sums it up. They're doing prime Man United areas here with 1 goal difference. So
that's grim, man.
That's crazy. I was going to skim over the next. I probably shouldn't have, but I'm going to skim over the next 2 sets of draws. 1-1s for Leicester, Everton, and Southampton, Ipswich. The relegation race stays exactly the same. That's basically what I got from those ones.
Oh, yeah. All I was going to say on that is that when I was looking at those fixtures, on the results, I was like, I don't want it to be the same as last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling myself it's not going to be. 3 teams, the yo-yo just doesn't happen. like all three. Someone goes down, and maybe it'll be Everton this year. But like, it just shows you the level when the promoter teams are drawing 1-1. Like that is the level, right?
Yeah, that's what.
And the other thing I was thinking was that surely there's like a gentleman's agreement between the managers where it's like, okay, instead of both of us taking 2 points this season from each other, let's just win one each and take 3.
And
you know what I mean? Because it's like,
let's get
when you draw a game, like half a point evaporates from each team in thin air, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
you hand us the home
attack in the game and go for the basis that you're going to win one each and get 3 points. Like, because
that's the difference.
Drawing 1-1, getting 1 point each across the season in all these sort of games doesn't do anything. Like you need that extra point come the end of the season actually matters across 3 or 4 different games where you sort of sat back and, did your thing and wanted to, like, stay competitive because you were scared of losing to your relegation rival. But I think that, like,
good point.
Well, when these points just evaporate in thin air,
like, they're all there to get.
You need the 3, the 1 point, like the draw. There's a reason, like a draw. It's something unique about the Prem where, like, you don't get rewarded equally on the basis of drawing a game as you do for a win. So it's like that's why there's an incentive to win games because across the season you get more points for winning a game than you do proportionally drawing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I didn't think
I'm
about
surprised
that.
the managers like don't like.
Just
Live,
like,
I'm not taking the piss. I'm surprised managers don't sort of go like, okay, your home game. Give your fans a day out.
Give us this one. We'll give you the other one.
At the 72nd minute, we're going to open up.
Someone's going to hack someone. We're going to bring some kid off the bench and get a red card. It's going to look all good. You have the win. I never thought of it like that. That's true. It just disappears.
Well,
a point
literally just evaporates, right? There's a maximum total points available in a Premier League season. And that for that to happen would be all wins, right?
Yeah,
it'd be all wins and losses.
Yeah,
for the maximum total points in the season, it'd be all wins and losses. When you start adding draws in, you lose points from what you can take, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I've never thought of it. It makes
I only thought about I thought about it this week, and I was like, oh shit. Well, if they both decided to win the game, one game each,
they both gain points.
They would both. Yeah, it's a net gain for both teams. It's like and I get it. If they're all their relegation rivals, then in theory, it doesn't make a difference. But if it's not that, if there's other teams kicking about, then you both benefit.
Yeah.
Instead of 2-1-1s at the end of the year and you both get 2 points instead of 3. You know what I mean? It's just an interesting thought process.
Valid thought. Ipswich got a late equaliser. Sam Morse was a belter. And then Everton and Leicester was just pissing down with rain. That's anything I picked up from that. That's my analysis of those 2 games for you guys. All right, let's go to the next segment. Top 10 under 23s. I had a good joke lined after, but I won't say it. But I will say Aston Villa played young boys in the middle of the week, so we're going to go with under 23s.
Where they play at?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wait, the young boys played where?
Young boys at Wankdorf Stadium, eh?
Villa versus the young boys at Wankdorf.
Wow.
What sort of game is Wankdorf?
They've got to be taking a piss of that name. There's no way.
That is ridiculous.
That's a joke. That is an absolute stinker. Wankdorf Stadium. Okay, yeah. That's quite funny. Rio fan, I found that funny, anyways.
Classic. That's such
classic
a
classic Rio banter. All right, top 10 under 23s. We'll go one by one here.
Okay.
You want to get kicked off with your number 10?
There's a couple honourable mentions I want to do.
Yeah, no, actually,
can I do them now, or should I wait?
Do them now.
Okay.
They're under 23 as well, not 23. We changed it this year to be just under 23.
It's probably going to be a little bit of a spoiler if I do this, but the reason I put them in is because I feel like if we did this list 4 weeks out from the end of the season, it'd be a lot different, right? So I've got Diallo.
Yeah, valid.
United.
Yeah.
I've got Morgan Rogers, who I think if he has a big season will be in here.
Yeah, I think he'll be in there.
I've got Hoyland.
Yeah.
And I've got Adam Warden.
I think make the list, yeah.
No, so yeah, he doesn't quite make it. I think he's very close. I think they're all one consistent season away from really pushing hard for this, right? And there's a couple guys on the back end here who are sort of fighting a little bit.
Yeah, battling.
A little bit of 19-year-old aura. Martinelli was nearly going to go in. Then I realised he was just over 23.
Saved.
So I was like, because the 19-year-old aura was hanging on by a thread, man. I was like, dribbling, looking down at the ball while dribbling at 23, mate. Wait, get the eyes up, get the eyes up.
Got it, champ. No, got that one, buddy.
So I'm going 10 first, yeah?
Yeah, 10
I've got
first.
Gravenberch.
Yeah.
So
I was going to have him in mind, but he dropped out for me.
Yeah, look, he's definitely the one which is closest, obviously at 10. But Gravenberch does this thing. Still, I think one of those players who like surprised me. He was still under 23.
Yeah, because
Like,
he's been at Bayern.
Yeah, I feel like he's
and
been around a little bit.
Yeah.
Where was he before Bayern? He was in
Ajax,
the Dutch league. Was he at Ajax?
Bayern, and then
So he's gone around a little bit. You know, he's
big
played
clubs,
for three
big clubs already.
big clubs by 22 still. So yeah, like, you know, he was sort of less of a starter last year, but and was sort of a bit more rotation. However, this year he started all 5 games, and under Slot, I feel like Slot clearly has a thing for the Dutch players. I feel like he'll probably be relatively cemented in their team. Who do they have out in their midfield at the moment?
I think they're all there. Just
Endo's
Endo's just not playing
He probably
anymore.
shouldn't start.
Yeah.
So Gravenberch's not going to overcomplicate it too much. At 10, I think is fair.
I was about to say 5 weeks ago he wouldn't be in my list. That's why I didn't put him in. I just felt like I don't want to be too reactionary. I went a different player, number 10, because again I thought all 3 of us would go, and this would be a different player. I went Colwell at 10 because 2 years ago we were talking about one of the top centre backs at Brighton. And we were like, "What's say? Oh, this guy's the guy." Went to Chelsea. It's Chelsea. So
he got lost.
Yeah,
is the way I would describe
well, you got Badia, Shirley, Disasi, Thiago Silva was still there. Like, you've got all these players. It's like, and he was unfit as well. Never really got fit. And then the start of the season, he's played really well. I think he's playing that. Him and Fofana sort of rotating as like the versatile left back, centre back thing. They're doing this whole Pep thing at Chelsea as well. So he's got that versatility. He's quick on the ball. I think Chelsea made a good start. And I think out of all their defenders, he's probably been the most consistent start the season off. So he played alongside Tosin on the weekend. So he's the only one not to get rotated out. So that's...
Yeah, how do you say his last name, by the way?
I don't want to try. Bayo?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
That was close.
Yeah. Again, the commentator said Tosin. I'm going to say Tosin.
Bayo.
It's like Bayo at the end of it. The Fulham dude. The Fulham dude is in there with him. So
That's funny.
I'm going to like Colwell in there. I think he gets lost. He feels like he's 25 as well. He's been there for a while.
Yeah,
like,
and that's definitely another one.
Yeah, another one of those players. Number 9.
I've gone Udogie.
Oh, I've got your doggy.
So I was like,
oh shit, yeah.
Is he still good? No, but he was good last year.
He was nuts. It was
Like,
one of the top left backs.
he was a borderline team of the season left back. So
I forgot him.
And that's the other thing as well, is that because he's so good in a position which is so bad in the Prem, like he's probably a top 3 left back. Okay,
Oh, he still is. Yeah,
like
yeah.
You know, I think that warrants you being recognised in a list like this because he's like top echelon in his position, so you got to be up there, right? So. Yeah, just sort of on the basis of last year. I think he started off a bit stronger last year.
Yeah,
and sort of whizzed out a little bit or plateaued a little bit since then. However, he still plays every week for hands and, you know.
It was a bit of like a new transfer tax as well. For like we all jumped.
Definitely,
I definitely jumped on it hard because like,
oh my god, everyone was jumping on it. And I was kind of like, back then, you probably see me on the vids, like I was a bit more.
You were smarter about it.
I was a bit more like, oh, relax.
Like,
you know, he's good.
Yeah. Let's just
but
see
then,
how it goes.
You know, I can still recognise players who are good as today, right? Like, as in, you know, I'm not like a certified hater. He's not the best player in the world. Like,
no, but
it was like, he was going to score. You know, people were trading him FPL. He was going to score 3 goals a game. Like, playing in an Ange team. He's actually a striker. It's like, relax.
And that guy, he's not that good, but no, that's valid. That's a big loss for me. I went my boy Garnacho at 9. Again, similar to that sort of thing I always talk about the Liverpool players. He's a lot of a 6 or 10 sort of vibe. He's not quite that sort of 7, 8 out of 10 consistently like Diallo would be. That's a good shout, but Diallo haven't seen it properly.
Yeah, Diallo. Like, he honestly feels like he's so close.
Diallo could be like a top 5
really
coming in the year. And I think I said it. He's like a Timu Saka.
I actually feel like you found a gun in Diallo.
And I've finally liked that. I'm going a bit off topic, but the United finally loaned from player out, actually brought them back and used them. Yeah. Because a lot of times you loan them out and they just get lost. Like Palestri's gotten lost, and all these guys get lost.
Happens to so many clubs.
I'm glad we actually used him. So he in the future will be there. But that's the thing for Garnacho. He's too much of a, like on the weekend, he could have had a hat trick. If he had a hat trick, you know, we win the game. But he's that player that has a moment. FA Cup final, good stuff like that, but he can.
He'll have a good highlight reel. Like, don't worry about that.
He'll put together some ridiculous like moments over the year, but his stats won't back it. So I'm going 9 for him.
I've got Garnacho at 8.
Yep.
So, it's just funny the way you said that. It's like, we're talking about Diallo, then you said I've got him at 9.
Garnacho.
So Garnacho is at 9.
Not Diallo.
Probably because relatively similar reasons to Diallo, but a bit more like he's done it longer, probably less of a gap between his best and worst, I feel like Garnacho, compared to Diallo, that is. Garnacho, look, how old is he now?
22 or 1.
So, like, once again, he's actually been around for a couple years now.
Bro's been on the scene for time.
And, yeah, no, like, credit where credit's due. Garnacho
Jesus.
is a proper good youngster for United. I feel like he's progressively getting more into the goals and assists. Still not like 100% in the team.
It's strange.
Yeah, that's the only thing with Garnacho is that I feel like he would probably be higher on this list if he had cemented that spot. But I guess when you have like Rashford behind, there's gonna never be a lot of rotation there. So that's sort of, I guess, the next big step for his career is like, you know, be known in everyone's mind that you're the left winger for United, right? Do you know what I mean? Would that be correct?
No, it's correct. But I say there's a lot of problems with Ten Hag's obsession with playing both on the right, like Gala and Garnacho. But the first time of the weekend we saw him on the left.
Yeah, Garnacho.
And I think we looked much better without.
He still is a left winger. Yeah,
I still think he's a left winger, but he's been playing on the right with Ten Hag.
Last year too?
No, not last year. This year.
Yeah, okay. So in the first couple of games
with Diallo, they've been rotating on the right, but it's been strange. I don't really know where to club, but that's a good point. I think he's 2-footed enough to play both sides. So again, find a spot.
I think he's definitely better on the left.
I think
from what I've seen of Garnacho, I think he looks significantly
much better cutting in and just like
100%.
Yeah, I
just think that's the new model nowadays. Like as in,
we have to.
People trying to overthink it, like, you know, oh, maybe it's a new thing. Like, but I think we've seen wingers are the best when they can invert and then cut back
and bang.
Yeah,
full Foden.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Saka, Foden, Salah.
You literally name them all. The top fives are all doing that.
You know, that's just the way it is.
That was me 8. Yeah. This is fun. This is going to be very reactionary, I think. I've got Cobby at 8 just because slower start to the year. I sort of bought into this guy on TikTok. There's this Crystal Palace guy on TikTok that does all these lists and stuff. And he was doing the Manu Wharton debate. And I've been big on Wharton. I think he's actually played better than Manu has. The Euros, I think, Poppy's in Manu's back pocket, but he's looking a little bit tired right now. I think he's going to follow this a little bit in that regard. And for me, he's more of an 8. He's not a 6, but he's sort of playing at 6. And
Cobby.
Yeah. I think once we see him at the 8 and we get a stable United, I might put him a bit higher. But Ryan's getting dribbled past too easily. He's not really breaking up the play as much as I would like. And the guy I got ahead of him, I think, does that a little bit better. Going forward, ridiculous. I think dribbling, he just like glides over the grass. But right now, not the full package yet from Cobby, so I put him at 8.
I've actually gone a little bit higher.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. I've got Colwell at 7.
Yeah, valid.
So exact same reasons as you, except I just, once again, like I probably really, really rate the fact that players just almost go under the radar for just starting. Like, you know, and especially when you start, like when you're starting at Chelsea, considering how many players have had come and go, and like, you know, the amount of like the players you're up against to get picked, right? There's just the volume of players there. You know, you got to respect the guys who actually get on the pitch.
Yeah.
And so, once again, like a combination of how good he was at Brighton, and then the ability to get in the team and, you know, sort of make that spot his own now. Like, yeah, I agree. I think he's the most, and he was injured the whole last year essentially.
Basically,
so you kind of remove that, and I think Colwell, as you're talking about Murillo before about how young he is. Well, how young is Colwell? And he's been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
So at centre back, so like, you know, I think he's an absolute Premier League weapon in the making.
Bit of a lock there.
Yeah.
And I went, so it leads on to Adam Ward at 7 for me. I just rate him very high. I think he's a proper 6. Breaks the game up, dribbles before forward, gets his head up. Which I don't think many.
Where was Warden before?
Blackburn.
This is my only thing about Adam Warden.
So you've only seen a year and a half.
I've seen 21 games of Adam Warden.
You've seen just under a year,
right? Like 21 games. Like as in, I know his underlying numbers at Blackburn were insane. Like progressive passes and all those things. I know the numbers. I've heard all about Adam Warden, like, you know, how good he's picking the ball up and stuff. And he looks good as well. It's just that I just need to see a bit longer, right? Yeah. Pretty much everyone on this list has been there for some time now, right?
Yeah, it feels like the same here. Yeah.
Like there's only a couple who for various reasons haven't played probably like almost 50 games.
But there's some valid reasons for those guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I jumped on his bandwagon very early and probably stuck on it. I just think when he came in, and maybe just coincide with Glasner coming, but Palace turned that shit around very quickly. So I like what he's doing, and I think he won the battle of the two in the midfield on the weekend. So he goes for 7 for me. I'm a 6.
I've got Kobe Mino.
I'm 6.
Yes, I've got him high.
Yeah.
And maybe this is like a little bit the fact that he's also just a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is he, 19 still, I think?
Yes.
Like 18, 19.
19,
He's still a
yeah.
teenager,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like I've kind of factored that in a little bit in the sense that, you know, he's doing it whilst being a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and yeah, like despite the fact that I don't think he's been as good this year,
Yeah.
and he got a little bit burnt out towards the back end of last year, to have sort of the debut breakout Premier League season he did have in a United team, which is really struggling at times where he looks like your best player, I think says a lot. Like, you know, doing it at Old Trafford, big stages, regardless of how the club is performing. You know, biggest club in the world, people would still say. So, I think that deserves a fair bit of recognition, and yeah, I think Kobe deserves a spot on this list.
Yeah, fair enough. I went Caicedo 6, lower than a truckload of City players.
Yeah, I probably had a stinker here.
You reckon?
Yeah,
You can have a stinker.
When you were reading out your players, and all your players were like 1 or 2 behind mine, and I was like, "Yep, who have I forgotten here?"
Oh, you put mine.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one, right? Because
I don't know if I'd have him that high, but still, I'd probably.
I think he's. I forgot to add him onto that Chelsea chat. He was ridiculous on the weekend. Good assist for the Jackson second goal. He's come back into his own. Finally, they're stable. He was nuts at Brighton. I love watching Caicedo at his best.
That's right. 30 days. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
No,
he creeps in by the way. Still 22
for 30 days.
No, I love it when inform Caicedo is nuts. Him and McAllister. I still love McAllister. Those two love the work they do. I think Caicedo will come back in his bag this year. I think he's probably he was the best performer last season. I think Gallagher was the most consistent performer, but he's probably the best performer, Caicedo, in that midfield. Now that Gallagher's gone, I'm really harsh on Enzo, but I think Enzo ain't near what Caicedo's putting up. So I think he's been really good and consistent. He's 22. He acted like he's some experienced veteran in that midfield, but he's doing
that's
very
a great shout. I can't believe I sort of overlooked Caicedo.
Moses. Top 5s, which is City, Manchester City football goes.
It was actually pretty grim making this. I was like,
it's quite sad knowing the league's in.
you know, you look at this City team, like, oh, KDB's old, you know, like, but honestly, it was kind of like 28, 29.
Windows come back and old.
Like, yeah, they're all old now. Like, Pep's going to leave. They're washed.
Then you see this list.
Now look at this list, and 4 of my top 5 are City players.
Yep.
And the other one is...
And mine's a City.
Essentially a City player. So, Rico Lewis at 5.
Agree. Yep.
He's probably the one of the 4 above him that hasn't had enough time to sort of have his breakout year yet. Yeah. However, the cameos we've got from Rico Lewis are like a next level. You know, if you're that young playing in this team, then you know there's
in one of the toughest roles I think now they play.
Yeah, an insanely tough role, right? There's probably good reason for it if you're in a Pep Guardiola team. And yeah, it's just like, as you said, the role, the team, the combination of all the elements for Rico Lewis to play, plus the actual performances he gives. There is like an insanely exciting young prospect in there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not really sure of the evolution of his position though.
Yeah. It's
like where do you think, is he just going to play like inverted right back?
Or does he become like an 8? I think he becomes an 8.
It's interesting because we see how far forward he gets.
He's literally already there.
How many times is he like, you know, picking the ball up, edge of the box?
He makes the runs for Haaland. Haaland's fed him the ball 3 or 4 times in behind.
Yeah,
that's
so
how high
like,
he's getting.
That's an interesting point in his career is that like, you know, one, if Pep leaves, how many other managers out there who are going to play like a unique inverted fullback where you get the best out of Rico Lewis? Yeah. And 2, is he still, like, is he good enough defensively to play that Kyle Walker mold?
Yeah.
And is he too good going forward to just be wasted playing at a traditional right back? Exactly. Yeah. So the best of Rico Lewis is very, 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 very good.
It's scary.
It's just, it's about 1, how much can he kick on this year?
Yeah.
And 2, like, what does the evolution of the player look like?
I got the most disastrous comparison, but this is going to be awful.
Nacho Monreal? Yeah, cold.
This is going to sound like a stinker. You're going to laugh at it. Yesterday, Brighton played Hinshelwood at 8. He's a right back. Young kid, 18. Yeah. Well, he started last season right back. He plays 8 yesterday. It's like a double pivot. I see Rico Lewis doing that for City next season. That's sort of where it goes.
No, I can see something along that line.
I think he's the most talented out of the top 5 here. I think on raw, like if he maximizes his ability, I think he's got the more. Yeah,
he's probably got the most upside left.
Yeah,
right.
I think he'll be nuts if he gets to his max potential.
Yeah. But for him to activate that would mean that he's getting a lot of goals and assists, and he can't be doing that. Like maybe what he can do is, and with the setup that City have, they can like probably go back to sort of like more of a 3.
You could whack a 3 back,
and then because this is essentially what they have anyway. Or you do the 3 and he pops into the 4th, right?
Yeah, and you can slide back,
which is essentially what they do anyway. And it's like, yeah, like give him that license just to bomb on.
Yeah.
So they're gonna that's a good problem to deal with. But yeah, there's a lot of upside left in Rico Lewis for sure. And yeah, maybe the inverted 8 thing would be playing as a double pivot 8 would be.
I think that's a future.
Next to Rodri.
Yeah. Number 4, do we have Doku? Or have I gotten low?
No, I've got Doku at 4.
Yeah,
I think the 3 above him warranted.
Yeah. I think it explains
itself. Yeah, like
good, but not
almost surprisingly still under 23.
Yeah, again,
I didn't know
that
Doku was that young.
Campaign.
Like, genuinely, like that was when he sort of put himself on the map. Yeah. It was like these really quick, just like bursts of acceleration, and like had a lot of sort of raw power there. And
just small and just.
And it was funny. He was never like a Pep signing. Like nothing.
Neither is this next guy as I've got as well. But
fair. But nothing about Doku really fits a Pep mold. No. But it also just shows the evolution of Pep, to be honest. Like
going back to the Sane days where they just had those top ball wingers there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Doku was pretty good last night. I think it was second half he was pretty good. I get why they took him off, but yeah, not a lot.
I can't really explain the team. I don't know what to say about these guys. They're all very good. They're just I think there's different levels
to it at the moment. Like as in for Doku, what can he do? Probably get just more output.
Yeah, try and get in your full Foden bag.
But if Doku was to get more output though, then he'd be a team of the season caliber player. Because that's always really literally all he'd be missing is the numbers.
Yeah.
To show how good he can be, right? Like once again, he's benching Jack Grealish.
I know. And Jack Grealish is still actually playing alright for one. I'm good to the guy.
I mean,
he's playing okay.
Grealish has never been that stinky, to be honest. It's like it's he's always a consistent player, but it's just Doku he just offers something different and clearly better in Pep's mind.
Different. That's a good word for it. I think I'm the same. Do you have Savio 3? Ooh,
no, I think I did.
You did?
I went Savio 3.
Cool, yeah. We have the exact same top 4.
Double check.
This is someone who me and Nathan. Me and Nathan were big on this because
me and Mitch were taking the piss. We're like, I don't know where Savio came from.
Well, no, it's true.
I actually don't know where he came from. I don't know what club he came from.
What's the thing? We were following Girona hard last year to make sure what was going on.
So he came from Girona.
He was at Girona.
Okay.
That's why I'm so pissed about it was 20 mil because that was Etihad Airways within each other. They transferred for 20 mil. But he, at the age of 21, just ridiculous. And I guess you could say it's only been like a year and a half because he cooked at Girona. I don't know what he did before that. I couldn't tell you where he came from before that. But last year, him and Dovbyk, crazy. And I thought going to Haaland's like the biggest upgrade of all time. But he's not really doing that. He's not becoming he's more of a threat into the goal.
Yeah.
Because at Girona, he was a cross first.
It was a good ball he played though.
Last time was ridiculous. That was a very good ball. But like Girona was a cross first player that was like trickery, bar line, whip in. Where now at City is like drive. Like he didn't last like driving.
Is he playing off the left?
Ball. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So now Pep's got him. I don't know. I mean, I know he's played off the left a little bit for Pep, like a little bit.
Well,
and
he played both for Girona. I'll be honest.
On his right foot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the best. I mean, it was a bit. That first 20 minutes last night was a bit shaky, like because he was getting so much space. He
was at it.
And he was constantly just running, like at defenders. It was a bit of a scary sight. And that's how they got that first goal. Was it sort of cut in, and just the pace of changing the angle, like sort of left a big hole for Haaland, and it was like
good night from there.
Yeah, genuinely. So you were very big on him early days in the Prem. You were like, I think it was your signing of the season.
I haven't signed it. Yeah, I think it'll be signing.
I think it's a big call, but it's looking to.
It's getting there.
It's a really tough call to make because signing of the season for a player who like might not even start.
I say it was rogue.
Yeah, he genuinely might not even start.
Yeah,
is a tough call to make.
Yeah,
But
And
he's
City as
looked
well,
unreal, to be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I can't talk about. I think he's continued to do what he did at Girona, which is handy because they play very similar to City. And then 2, I went Vardiol. 1, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I think the simplest thing, Vardiol was ridiculous. Like the end of the season last year, we saw what it was all about. And I said to you before, Calafiori, that was a Vardiol type goal last night.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a bit. Just wanders in, whacks it. That's what Vardiol was doing last season. That near hat-trick versus Fulham in the second last game
He
week.
probably could have scored last night, to be honest.
And yeah, it
good
had
rare
two
saves.
good efforts last night. He's been ridiculous. Hasn't really been dislodged. Talk about not moving centre backs and defenders at Man City. And be talk about Palmer. Like, Palmer was player of the season. If he wasn't young, he probably would have won player of the season. If Foden was, it's either way.
Yeah,
last
that was
year.
a bit. Yeah,
It could have gone either way. That's why he's number one. Basically, put it simple. Double digit goal and assists. Carried Chelsea to 7th. Still a City player. I still talk about. He still won the Super Cup for them with that late equaliser. Was important. The Community Shield.
He's got a bang in the Community Shield.
Give it, like, this guy's ridiculous. This guy's.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, Vardiol, like, you absolutely nailed it. He's just come in and maybe initially didn't fully justify the price tag they spent because it was always a massive, regardless, it was a massive money signing for a defender and a player who, they've already got so many quality defenders.
Already.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was like, caught everyone a bit off guard, but he's just come in and has just got better and better every week since he's been in, and this season especially, he's just looked very very solid, and the attacking threat is still there, definitely. But then, Palmer just speaks for himself. Like, you can't have a under 23-year-old scoring like double-digit goals and assists not be number one.
Yeah.
Like as in, it's just as simple as that. No, I don't care if the goals are pens or like tap-ins, whatever they are. Like, if you have the responsibility of scoring the pens, right? At 22, 21, that is one telling.
Yeah.
As in, you're the guy.
You're the dude. You're the
and two, puts them away confidently every time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm so glad that little experiment first game of the season where they played in Kungu down the middle and Palmer off the right ended, because that was just that
was hard.
I was worrying for Enzo when he did that, because I was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, 100%. Like, don't change a winning sort of setup in Palmer, right? But there's no, I think he's only had a couple. Well, he obviously got 3 assists in a game against Wolves.
The Wolves game.
But since then, I think he's had 1 goal.
Just a goal.
There is absolutely no doubt Cole Palmer. He's a type of player who's going to rack up output. That's just the mold of his player.
He's there.
He's a last ball sort of shooter of the ball, right? As in, he will directly correlate to goals and assists. And we often talk with players who don't do that often get a lot of recognition for they don't do that, they don't do that. But it's almost because the players who do it get so much recognition. Yeah, too much. And it's valid. It's like, if you do it, it's valid. And that's why Cole Palmer's number one, without a doubt, to be honest.
He's like it's like a point guard at basketball that will go and dunk. Like he's one of those sort of players. He's not like the Erdegaard or the De Bruyne probably still does it, but
more like not like an Odegaard, right?
Yeah, he's not going to.
Odegaard this is what catches me off guard about Odegaard. He gets so much recognition for a player with relatively little output in his position, right?
Yeah,
and then it's like you have Cole Palmer who
just bangs him.
who just all he does is just get output.
Yeah, he's not the next pass; he is the pass. Sort of he is that guy to shoot and score. For time's sake, and gladly, we're going to skip the next few. Tottenham 3, Brentford 1, and Burn made 22 seconds again. Brentford scored in 22 seconds. Then Dom Slanky opened up the scoring. Brennan Johnson yet again after being, for some reason, dog's abuse for his performance in the North London derby.
I mean, he wasn't great. But
I know, but there was another 8 players. I think it was Christian
was
Romero was worse. He should have gotten dog's abuse. And then Maddison finished that one off. Boring 0-0 Palace United, despite there being Palace should have scored in the second half and we should have scored about 4.
Both teams should have scored without a doubt.
I think Palace killed it second half and we killed it first half.
United, in my opinion, probably deserved the win.
One thing I say is, if I had to be really, really pro Ten Hag, that's the game we probably lose last year or the year before that. Like, it's one of those, but that's another funny stat. United have only beaten Fulham in London since Ten Hag's took over. We haven't been any other London team.
Oh, I've only been since 10
Since Ten Hag. So we've drawn to
Well, that's not good. There's about 10 of them.
I'm about to say we've drawn to Palace. We've lost to Brentford. We got battered by Brentford, didn't we?
We definitely haven't beat us.
You haven't been you guys either.
Not Spurs.
Chelsea we've drawn to. Spurs we've lost to twice. So yeah, there you go.
That's ridiculous.
There's a stat for I heard that on the start of the broadcast.
That's a good one.
That's a great one for us. I think I'd hold on to that if I was you next time we play you guys. Brighton 2, Nottingham Forest 1. I wish you could talk more about this, but I want to talk about the big game. But this was a really good game. Forest and Brighton both stay undefeated.
I think you said Brighton 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Oh shit, 2-2.
2-2.
Sorry, getting my numbers rich. Great game just for the neutral. Again, this was Prem ball on the weekend. That's sort of something.
That guy, Jack Hinchelwood, mate.
Playing in the number 8, and then put a crazy header. Danny Welbeck, mate, what a freak! I don't know if you saw
that guy.
Welbeck, man, crazy. And then Forest did what they did. They just counter-attacked deluxe. Both goals. First penalty came from a counter-attack.
I thought about Chriswood for underappreciated. I was like,
I tell you what,
he kind of gets a little bit of appreciation a lot though. To be honest,
but he gets equal slack, but probably deserves slack. He misses some big chances,
well, he missed the offside one.
But that was bad.
That was shocking.
That was bad.
After buddy Andros, again, man.
Yeah, he's like,
was like bigging him up, man.
Big player, great player.
He's a proper number 9.
Yeah, he's
a proper number 9.
He whipped out the proper number 9 chat and then goes and misses that.
I was like,
and you have to give it up, man. Give it up, brother.
No, I do like Andros.
Good voice, but
yeah, I was like, yeah.
Have you said it? No, we haven't said it off air. He just says keeper. I don't think he knows a single keeper's name.
He only refers to keeper. It's insane.
Bro,
great save from the keeper.
From the keeper. Keeper should have done better there.
Playing back to the keeper. Like, like, Allison's a 70 mil player, man. Like, call him his name. Like,
it is dodgy sometimes. It is very dodgy sometimes.
He's waiting for the producer.
Yeah, his name's Brooklyn, mate.
Allison.
Allison with a great save there. No, that was a good game.
The young keeper, Allison.
Yeah, the Brazilian Allison.
It's funny as.
Hudson-Odoi was good in this game here as well, but yeah, it was just classic Forest counter-attack versus great. You know, it was fire and water basically on each other. The counter-attack of Forest versus just the control of Brighton, and both teams remain undefeated, as do City and Arsenal. Both undefeated. 2-2. I don't know where you go with this one. I don't know where you where do you start with this? It's chaotic.
Where do I start? Okay, where do I start? It is...
Shut the positives.
It is July 10th and the fixtures release for the Premier League season.
There we go.
And I pencil in Etihad.
Yep.
Man City away at the Etihad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone tells me you can take 1 point right now, I take that point and I run.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what anyone says. No team in the world does not take a draw at the Etihad. Not one team in the world looks at Man City and says, "Oh, you know what? We like, you know, if we don't win this game, I'm gonna be disappointed."
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a 5-time in 6-year Premier League winner. Like, they won the treble 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They probably won, I don't know, 10 Prems or 8 Prems in the last, 12 years or something. Yeah, it's Man City. It's Pep. It's Haaland. Okay, no KDB. But, all things considered, who doesn't take a point away at the Etihad? That being said, there was a lot of things within the game which, are sort of controversial and skew how you view the internal sort of intrinsic result, right? As in the moral victory sort of thing.
Yeah.
And conceding a 98th minute equaliser is devastating, right?
It's devastating.
After genuinely, if you're a player or for the fans, you've been riding that 52 minute
all the way
wave roller coaster of just parking the bus, right? And the anxiety, the heart. I mean, a couple of people lost a couple of years of their life off that half, right? So I hope the players know that. Mikel, this
riding
look
this.
What you've done. I'm guaranteed there's a couple guys in the ER.
Yeah.
A few of these ones.
Bit of NHS as well.
Right. But yeah, it's devastating. But you also look at it you can also paint the picture that, okay, they went down to 10 men at halftime and they played a 45 minute half against City.
Plus all the added.
Yeah. They played 60 minutes against City.
60 minutes.
And conceded 1 goal. It's just the way you want to spin the narrative. And I'm very, very happy with the result we got. Mm-hmm. I was devo when we conceded. But it's also Mate, seeing the mentality monsters City celebrate the draw the way they did, it's actually embarrassing. I had to go on Twitter straight away and tweet because I was like, this is embarrassing. I want the bloody quote retweet Rodri. Oh, they came here to get a draw. Go away, man. Like, you know, that you've literally celebrated a draw like you won the treble. Anyway, that was my take from the game. You know, on a result basis, I'm happy.
Happy, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm the first to praise and also hate on Arsenal. But last year, I said you lost. My point of view was by going there to draw the game, you'd lost the top. For me, I looked at it and said that was the wrong way to go about things. And I sort of sat in that and I was proven right somewhat, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, we didn't win the league, so I guess you're right.
Yeah. But again,
we
it was
also took 4 points from City.
Exactly. And that's where you guys came from.
We haven't lost City in probably 4 games.
But you look at this game and this situation, and I think you actually went there trying to win the game. I actually thought the first half, as much as City might have just edged it, you guys were leading, and I think you played the better.
Anyone who says we didn't try and win the game because we parked the bus in the second half is an idiot.
Well, you're down 10 men.
Because we're 2-1 up.
Yeah, and you're down 10 men.
Because I've been seeing that online. Oh, they didn't want to win, mate. We're 2-1 up with 10 men with the best defense in the world. Like,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Try and outplay them and concede 3 or 4? Like it's. Oh man, it's clueless.
That's the thing. I love Arsenal hate. Like I'm there to try and stir the pot sometimes, but I can't like go against this. Like the best team in the world, Real Madrid, go there every single season and sit with 7 behind the ball. That's their out. They leave 7 behind it and they leave 2 up top.
You know.
And when you guys had your structure, you only had the 4 or 5 behind the ball. Like I think, all in all, I think it's. What did you say before? Like someone said it's both who lost. Like you guys lost it. You guys did not lose it.
Yeah, Boovy. Boovy, man.
But neither did Man City lose it. I still think it's a valuable point because of that point there. Arsenal, the best defense in the world. And you still found a way to find 2 goals. Yes, they were down to 10 men. Yes, one was scrappy, but you found a way to score 2 goals. So that's props to you guys. Fair enough. You lose Rodri and you lose no KDB.
Yeah.
You got a point.
And I'm not going to, like, you know, the Rodri thing, like, honestly, like, you know, Rodri's a star of the game. Might win the Ballon d'Or. Like, hopefully for his sake, he's fine. Yeah. My immediate reaction was ACL.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah. I just think it's ACL.
Yeah. It was the way he was
like, when you're crying and you're holding the back of your knee,
you'd think,
and you can walk off, then like it's ACL.
Yeah.
Realistically,
honestly,
which is Devo for him because he's going to miss probably the rest of the season. Like I know they come back quick in the Prem, but there's 8 months left.
Yeah, someone of his age,
it's actually like 7 months left essentially. He won't be back.
I don't think he can.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Another point that him going off, no Odegaard, no KDB, and then the red card, and I think it is. We're getting the red card now, I guess but it does ruin. I said this a few weeks ago for the Brighton game. Again, another great game of football, really entertaining.
The spectacle of it.
It just ruins it.
Yeah.
And you said from your point of view, you like seeing you be in the shit house and defend. But I said for Man City, it's also entertaining for their club, see them attack a low block. So. Yes, in a way, but I think we're going to get trenched with 3-3 classic. If we
or keep Trossard. Obviously keep Trossard.
Obviously. I think we would have seen an all-time Premier League game. I actually said this
when Calafiori scored with the boys I was with. I was like, boys, we're going to see a classic here. Yeah. Like, this is going to be a classic.
It was due. It was due for like a 3-3. Like I felt it was going to be goals in this game, despite you guys being so good defensively.
When Cala scored, I was like...
I think that was going to happen.
Which, by the way, what a goal.
Worldy.
Like...
You haven't said on here. Have you talked about the... I get confused off air versus on air.
No, this was off air.
There's that goal.
About how hard that goal is.
How to place that.
Like, I don't think some people don't understand. Being a left footer in that position is like 10 times harder than a right footer. The area of the goal you have to shoot for is like probably a quarter to like a fifth or even smaller, like 10% of the size, right? Probably like 1/10, honestly. Because you have to curl it. You're curling it into the corner. So as in... You have to start it left.
Yep. So at the goalkeeper.
But you have to start at the goalkeeper, right?
And then
aim it so it's going to curl and not far enough, like not too far,
not to miss the goal.
Right. Whereas if you're a right footer, you can start it so far right, because of the angle of the keeper has to be more central, so you can even hit it top left and it can try and go in. There's just no way a left footer scoring top left in that scenario, right? So that finish from Calafiori was mental.
Yeah.
Like. Absolutely insane, and just like the whole aura around that, like, you know, just like first game and all, and Calafiori.
But the hair was just flowing.
Yeah, the hair was. I looked at the camera angle. The hair looked nice. And then the Gabriel goals. Let me talk about this really quick. Kyle Walker, man, walking up to Doku. Oh, wait, relax. I think was Andros on this game?
No, it was the other dude. The other dude.
The other geezers.
Yeah, but he's very good. He's very good at commentator.
But he, walking up to like, wait, Doku, Jeremy, this is my guy, and then starts hitting these ones. Like, what is this, bro? And then literally the first step, Gabriel sends him, and then just gets to the back stick, bang, storms in, 2-1. It was unreal.
He got bullied, man. That's 2 weeks in a row. Good. He bullied Christian Romero. He's bullied Kyle Walker.
Yeah, so good.
Great ball in his game as well, by the way. I think these balls into the box are still ridiculous.
I mean, all the assists really. Well, 3 of them. Two of them. Saka and Savio's assists.
Saka and Savio's are good. Yeah. Then you got the controversies.
Probably touch on Haaland really, really quick.
Robot mode. I should say 100 goals. He equaled Ronaldo's record.
Did he?
Yeah, I got a lot of likes on that comment. So he's got 100 goals in 105 games in the league.
100 goals.
I'll back to comment up on.
Is that what Ronaldo's?
For La Liga, yeah.
So La Liga. I was going to say.
Sorry, top 5 leagues. So not Premier League, yeah.
Wow.
I like to comment on some account. I think it was 433. I said, I want to say something about Gabriel and Saliba, please save us. And I got about 500 likes on that. So
that's funny.
Happy with my comment there for all my United fans. And then, but yeah, great. Fair play. Fair play to Haaland.
He was due a goal against us too.
Because he scored in the Community Shield. Was that the last time he scored against you guys?
Did. But he's been non-existent in the Prem against us. He's been actually non-existent.
That Gabriel Haaland, that's going to go down in history. That's like a Vieira King type.
Throwing the bloody ball at the back of his head. Oh my God.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's finish off with a
bit of officiating.
So City, and by the way, again, this is United hate watch here, but like you've probably got the worst combination of Man City, the biggest whingers to the players and the manager. Then you've got Arsenal fans who love a bit of a whinge on social media. So if you're a referee, you do not want a game like this.
Yeah, it's like, a bit of a lose-lose. This is and then they give us Michael Oliver.
Yeah, the only thing worse would be a United Arsenal because both fans whinge on social media. But in terms of at the game, you've got the whingers in terms of City, like the Bernardo Silvas and Rodriguez and fucking all these guys and Pep. And then you've got the Arsenal fans online. So you get the best of both worlds. So then Michael Oliver, the first mistake, I think is still a mistake, but grow up, is he calls Walker and Saka in and then lets them play. Walker was in position, I think, or close enough to it. He's too busy
strolling back.
He's too busy pointing at the line. Yeah. You just make the line first instead of pointing where everyone else is. So then he gets caught out. He thinks that's his fault, even though Calafiori wandered back from no one marked Calafiori. So that's fine. I understand the frustration, but I think just be better. Yeah. And then the second one's the red card. Again, I still reckon he makes the right call. I just think it's a brain fade from Trossard.
And I showed you the Doku clip.
Yeah. I forgot about this, by the way.
This is the issue with this. It's not the Trossard red card. Like, as in, we saw it with Declan Rice, and Trossard didn't just like tap it. Like, he absolutely hoofed the thing.
Well, he did.
And borderline probably could have been a yellow on Bernardo Silva. Like, he went in tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
Like, as in, all things considered, probably a yellow. I get it, right? But when Doku does it, like literally 10 minutes before, and I saw Bernardo Silva apparently did it as well. I didn't say that, but I can imagine Bernardo Silva doing it.
It's Bernardo Silva classic.
It's an absolute shithouse.
Yeah. I don't like Bernardo Silva.
Like when they do it 10 minutes before, and Oliver watches him do it and says and points at him, obviously saying like, no, watch yourself or some crap, and then doesn't give him a yellow. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just. I actually don't have anything more to say on it because I literally have no idea why he wasn't given a yellow. Like, I have not a clue. They'll come out and say some crap, like, referee Michael Oliver was correct in his adjudication of the ruling. Right? Some BS, which is like a bunch of large words muddled in with a couple real words, which says nothing. Is essentially what it will say, and. Yeah, there'll be no repercussions again. There'll be no clarity again. We'll get no further clarity on this situation again. And the reality is, if we have 10 men, if we have 11 men, we're in I'm not going to say we're going to win the game, but we're in a much better position to win the game. Put it like that, right? So as an Arsenal fan, you could feel very hard done by.
Oh, absolutely.
That we've lost 2 points through very poor officiating rather than fault of our own. So that's the reality of this game, is that an Arsenal fan will feel like they've been hard done by here because of poor officiating, having one of our players sent off. where other players were not dealt the same repercussions through the exact same actions. And that's just the outlook I think a relatively level-headed fan or neutral would say, is that one player's done one thing, another player's done another thing, or done the same thing, different outcomes.
Yeah.
Right.
And it goes back to my Declan Rice thing. Again, less so to trust up because I rate Declan Rice so highly, like the lead and stuff. It's just, I don't understand what I get. That the game was heated as hell. And it's one of those games where in the past, I've said it a lot, let the game go sort of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe, but you've seen your mate do it 2 weeks ago and it cost you 2 points there. And potentially, I just think, just got to think. And then Mikel obviously must have drilled it in. Mikel's a great manager. He would have drilled it in. It's just literally a brain fade. And all in all, I came into last night's games writing up my notes and saying it was going to be a good weekend for refs. And I think it was because Rob Jones, who did pay that double yellow, did pay the relevant yellows for Brighton because it happened a few times with Brighton. I think 3 of their players got yellow carded for time wasting. Bournemouth player got done for time wasting. All the sense we're on the same page. But again, I was caught up in just the spectacle last night. I missed that. But you got it. If everyone else on the weekends paid it, or the 4 to 5 games I watched in totality, everyone else was paying it. You didn't pay it earlier. It looks pretty like you've shot yourself in the foot. Yeah. Like you've literally ruined the reputation. Like on the weekend, it was looking 10 out of 10 for me. I think it was looking great, and it was just that moment there. And yes, people are going to find things, but you're the referee. You're right in front of it. It's not like it was behind the play or it's right. That's bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was behind the play, which I had a little issue with this with the Haaland Gabriel thing.
Yeah, that one as well. Yeah.
There's a clip going around of after they score, Haaland grabs the ball, runs and like pings it
from a meter
away at the back of Gabriel's head. And look, I get it. It's cool. It's funny. I get it. But it's like the reality is, if that was done right in front of Michael Oliver, and it wasn't a goal celebration,
it was just a foul.
Yeah, if it was post a foul,
he's off.
He's gone 100%.
He's on.
If it's post a foul and Haaland's just mad at Gabriel. And just pings the ball in the back of his head from a metre away, and everyone's watching it unfold, he's 100% gone. Yeah, because you score, like, and the ball's not in play, and the game's like, in a timeout, like the game is in like a dead patch because like, there's a goal celebration and stuff. The officiating just ceases to exist. VAR ceases to exist. Like, doesn't even get looked at or anything. It's like, how can that just be allowed to happen? How is there no post game body like in the AFL, like a tribunal or something?
Looking at whatever, yeah.
There needs to be some level of like off-field sort of investigation and like policing of these things, because players just can't get away with that. You just can't do that stuff when in game that would be a red card. If you do that right after a foul, without a doubt, that is a red card after a foul.
At least he looked at for a red card for VAR. At least looked at it. Yeah.
In my opinion, it's definitely a red. And then you just have stuff like that which just gets thrown under swiped under the rug, under the carpet, like because it's a celebration. I don't know. I had a few issues with stuff like that.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot to.
It was a big game.
Debunk.
There's a lot going on.
It's like the rivalry's been there, but it's 100% there now. Like it feels like it's. It's become the
major pep. I'll tell you.
It's become the new Liverpool City. Like it's taken that job now. It's like everyone around the world's watching that game every year.
But there's like a different twist to it. Like it used to be Klopp. It used to be like elite manager versus elite manager. Now it's like apprentice versus master versus apprentice. Yeah. It's unreal. I love it.
It's great. It's great.
I love Pep versus
anyway.
So good.
And there's just like the whole like Gabriel Haaland. Well, now that I didn't. Well, again, I'm watching the game. I'm just enthralled into it. I didn't see that stuff. But like, there's these mini battles over like Odegaard and KDB, and it's like Saka and Foden. So it's very good. When's the next one? It'll be towards the end of the year.
It'll be at the Emirates and that Kane though.
Last year it all.
I feel like every year we play him second, and it's like it's always we play him away.
Second fixture. This time last year was at Emirates. I'm pretty sure. Was it early in the season?
Yeah, we played him at the Emirates. Martinelli goal. Late deflection.
Yeah,
it's okay. But yeah, I'm happy that we're playing them at home in the second leg.
Advantage Arsenal.
Can't wait for them to come play for a win and we spank them 3-0, man. That'd be unreal. I'd love that. I would love them to come, after all the chat.
The mentality.
Come play, mentality monsters come play for a win, like go attacking, and we just absolutely spank them. That'd be unreal.
Saka hat-trick at the back. No, Kai Checky goal.
Unreal, man. It'd be unreal. Kai Havertz goal would be unreal. I'd love it.
That was another stat. So I think, was it Timber and Havertz didn't complete a pass last night?
Yeah, it was the first time in 7.
That's crazy.
Apparently, no, it mustn't have been Timber.
It was
it was just Havertz.
That was 2 players.
I can like recall Timber passing. I swear.
Maybe someone else. This might be slightly racist, but some dark dude. I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't know if I've saved it or not.
Got dragged.
Jesus, I don't. It was someone.
But Havertz definitely was the first time.
Havertz definitely was one of the guys.
7 Premier League seasons, where a player who's played 90 minutes.
Finishing this, we'll drop the stat in your head to finish off.
0 complete passes.
I didn't save it. No, it was someone else that I'm pretty sure, or maybe not Tim.
It couldn't have been Tim. He was playing fullback.
Was it Gabriel? Did Gabriel make a pass?
Gabriel passed the ball like a million
Yeah,
times.
I'm about to say.
We had some possession in the first half.
I'm not about to say. I think you were a better team that fit. Oh, I don't know where the stat would have been now. Oh shit! I bottled the stat.
I'll be able to find it.
I'll look here. Oh wait, is that it? No.
If I search up Twitter completed passes,
Yeah, it should. It should. No, not that. Not that. Oh, stinker.
Oh no, Timber didn't complete any.
Yeah,
He had 6 passes, didn't complete one.
Yeah, I thought it was Timber. Shit. So there you go. That's a stat in your head tops to finish this week off.
Yeah, that's mental.
All in all, entertaining weekend. Controversy enough, not too much, not ridiculous, but enough to keep us entertained. Another week down the drain. Next week, United Tottenham's a big game. We'll talk about that. And Nick City have Newcastle, which is going to be a big. They can bounce back at
City got Newcastle. Yeah,
St James, which is always a tough one for them. So some big games next week. Tots will hopefully be back, or he might have another birthday. You might just forget about it instead.
It's the
dad's birthday next week. You'll forget about that as well. All in all, guys, thanks for joining us. If you hang around, appreciate it. Appreciate the 1 point, whatever we are now, 1.1. Like, comment, subscribe.
It's going. It's up every day.
We're pushing. We're grinding.
Seeing that K now.
We like it. It
looks
unreal,
so,
man. The 1 point. The 1 point looks very good. More Champions League predictions around the corner. Don't you worry about that.
3.
Yeah.
3 Champions League predictions.
Yeah, just
1 for each night.
Yeah, we just whack them every single day. Just rinse them 2 KVs each. No, we love that. 5 stars on Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on Thursday with Nathan for the midweek show. Thanks, guys. See you later.